You may have cried yourself to sleep last night asking, why me? Why this pain? Why this silence? Why this heartbreak? But let me tell you something you might have forgotten. Your Lord knows best about you. You see, sometimes the doors that slam in your face are not punishments. They are protections. Sometimes the unanswered prayers are not signs of neglect. They are signs of love, divine love. When life takes a turn you never expected. When people walk away and dreams collapse. When you're left picking up the shattered pieces of what used to be. It's okay to feel broken. But don't you ever feel forgotten. Because the one who formed your soul, the one who whispered purpose into your being, he has not abandoned you. He sees the nights no one sees. He hears the thoughts you never speak. He knows the version of you that even you haven't met yet. So maybe, just maybe, the delays are not denials. Maybe they're grace. Maybe they're a cocoon preparing you for wings you didn't even know you had. And when you feel like giving up, remember this. There is something sacred in your struggle. Every tear you've cried is not wasted. It's watering the seeds of a better tomorrow. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to be understood by everyone. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to breathe, trust, and walk forward with the quiet, knowing that your Lord knows best about you. Even when you don't, especially when you don't, your pain has a purpose, even when you don't understand it. Life's detours and delays are not rejections. They are redirections from the one who knows you better than you know yourself. There are moments in life that feel like everything is falling apart. Moments when the people we trusted the most walk away without explanation. Times when our dreams crumble in our hands and the plans we held on to with so much hope just disappear in the blink of an eye. And in those moments, we're left with a heavy silence, a silence that often brings us face to face with one haunting question, why me? And me? But what if in that silence something deeper is happening? What if the pain we're feeling isn't here to break us, but to awaken something inside us? Pain has a way of slowing us down, of forcing us to listen, to pay attention to what we've been ignoring. It humbles us. It quiets the noise around us so we can finally hear what we truly need to. And that's why pain is not pointless. It's not without meaning, even when its reason is not clear. It is a messenger, not a mistake. Sometimes we think rejection means we are not enough, that we failed, that we were not worthy. But in reality, not every closed door is a punishment. Some are acts of mercy. Some are clear signs that we were headed towards something that wasn't meant for us, something that could have harmed us, lessened us, or taken us further away from our purpose. Life's detours are often divine directions disguised as disappointment. And while we might be grieving what was lost, we're being guided toward what's better. Even if we can't see it yet. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. Even when you feel like life has turned its back on you, the truth is you are being guided. Every no, every delay, every heartbreak, it's not random. It's not chaos. It's all a part of something far more meaningful. Sometimes the things we think we need are not the things that will grow us. And so we're gently redirected, often through pain, to places where we'll be able to discover a deeper strength, a clearer vision, and a more refined sense of self. There's a quiet wisdom in the timing of your life. You may feel like you're running late, like everyone else is ahead of you, like you missed the train for the opportunity or the moment. But what you might not realize is that you're not late. You're being prepared. You're not behind. You're on a timeline that's been uniquely written just for you. And the one who wrote that story knows you. He knows your heart. He knows your limits. He knows your resilience, even when you doubt it yourself. It's not always about the destination, but the transformation. It's who you become in the waiting, who you discover yourself to be in the pain. The detours build character. The detours build character. The delays build patience. And the rejections? They remind us that not everything we want is good for us, and not everything we lose is a loss. Sometimes the greatest gift is not getting what we thought we needed. You may not understand it now. You may feel angry, confused, or tired. That's okay. Feel it. Honor it. But don't let it define you. Don't let the pain convince you that your life has gone off track. Because nothing in your life is accidental. Nothing is wasted. Even the paths that broke you carry purpose. Even the seasons of waiting are filled with unseen blessings. So if you find yourself standing in the ruins of something you once prayed for, if you're walking through a chapter that looks nothing like what you planned, remember this. It's not the end of your story. It's a pause, a sacred turning point, a redirection, not a rejection. The road ahead may be different than the one you imagined, but it's leading somewhere, somewhere better, somewhere fuller, somewhere where you look back and realize that the pain wasn't a punishment. It was a pathway. The delay wasn't a denial. It was protection. And one day, when the pieces begin to fall into place, when the weight in your chest finally feels lighter, you look back and understand. You'll see that every moment of confusion, every tear, every detour, it all brought you exactly where you were meant to be. Because your journey was never about being perfect. It was about being real, about growing, evolving, and trusting the one who has always known what's best for you, even when you didn't. And that is why your pain, even when you don't understand it, has a purpose. You are not behind. You're being prepared. The journey you are on is uniquely designed for you, with every challenge sculpting you into who you're meant to be. It's easy to feel like you're falling behind in a world that celebrates speed. You look around and see people achieving things you've only dreamed of. Some are getting married, starting families, launching careers, traveling the world, reaching milestones you haven't even come close to. And in those moments, a quiet sadness seeps in, not because you're not happy for them, but because you start questioning your own pace. You start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you've missed your chance, or if life somehow forget about you. But let me remind you of something simple and powerful. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're meant to be. The truth is, no two lives are ever the same. The paths we walk are not meant to be compared because they're not cut from the same. Your story was never supposed to look like someone else's. Your timeline is not a copy of theirs. You are living a journey that has been written just for you, one that takes into account your soul, your heart, your trials, and your deepest purpose. And sometimes, preparation takes time. What you may see as delay is often divine design. The things you've been praying for, the dreams you've been nurturing in the quiet corners of your heart, they require you to become someone capable of receiving them. Not because you're not worthy now, but because certain blessings need stronger hands, wiser minds, and softer hearts. They require inner growth that can only come through experience. And experience only comes through time, the waiting, the struggle, the uncertainty. They're not punishments. They're not punishments. They're not punishments. They're preparations. They're shaping you, molding you, refining you. It may feel slow. And yes, sometimes it's frustrating. You work so hard and still the door doesn't open. You give your all and the results don't seem to match your efforts. You cry at night, wondering when it will be your turn. But just because something isn't happening right now, doesn't mean it will never happen. The soil doesn't reject the seed just because it takes time to sprout. Growth always happens in silence before it becomes visible. And so does transformation. You are not meant to bloom at the same time as everyone else. Some flowers bloom in spring, others in summer, and some in the late quiet of autumn. And still, they all bloom. So stop measuring your journey with someone else's ruler. Stop punishing yourself for not arriving at a destination that was never meant to be yours at this moment. You are not late. You are in the middle of becoming. Every challenge you face is not a detour, but a lesson. Every delay is not a sign of failure, but an invitation to go deeper, to learn more about yourself, to uncover parts of you that comfort never could have revealed. You're learning resilience when you're tired, but keep going. You're learning patience when things don't go as planned. You're learning humility when you're forced to ask for help. You're learning gratitude when you have less but appreciate it more. All these lessons are not random. They are tools being placed in your hands, tools that you will need later when your time comes. And it will come. Come. There's a version of you that exists in the future, stronger, wiser, more at peace. You are walking toward that version every single day, even if it doesn't feel like it. Even when progress is invisible, growth is still happening. The journey may not be easy, but it is intentional. It is filled with meaning even when it feels messy. You are not wandering without direction. You are walking a path carved specifically for your soul's evolution. You are being built. And anything that is built to last requires time, care, and patience. You don't rush the foundation if you want the structure to stand strong. And that's what this season is. It's your foundation. It's not wasted time. It's sacred time. Time where you're being equipped with everything you'll need, not just to arrive at your destination, but to sustain it. Because getting there isn't the victory, staying there, growing there, and thriving there is. So don't give up on yourself just because the journey is long. Don't stop believing in your worth just because others seem ahead. This isn't a race. This isn't a race. This is your life, your process. You're becoming. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. And you are not lost. You are in the process of becoming exactly who you were meant to be. And this process is preparing you in ways you may not understand now, but someday, when you look back, you'll realize that everything, the waiting, the pain, the confusion, the long nights and lonely moments, was part of the masterpiece. Not a detour, not a delay, a necessary path to your destiny. Healing comes when you surrender, not when you understand. Letting go of the need to control everything opens the door to peace and unexpected blessings. We spend so much of our lives trying to make sense of the pain we carry. We want reasons. We want explanations. We want the broken pieces of our past to fit neatly into some kind of pattern, so we can understand why things happened the way they did. But life doesn't always offer clear answers. Sometimes the silence is deafening. Sometimes the closure never comes. And that's where the real battle begins, not with the pain itself, but with the need to control it, to solve it, to make it make sense. But healing doesn't come through logic. It comes through surrender. There's something deeply human about wanting to understand. It makes us feel safe. If we can name the why, we think we can control the future, avoid making the same mistakes, shield ourselves from more pain. But in truth, life isn't a formula we can decode. And sometimes the only way to truly heal is to stop fighting for answers and start trusting the process, even when we don't understand it. Surrender isn't weakness. It's not giving up or giving in. It's choosing to loosen your grip on the things you were never meant to carry alone. It's accepting that you can't control everything, how people treat you, what they choose, what the past did to you, or how the future will unfold. It's a quiet, powerful act of saying, I don't know why this happened, but I choose to release the weight of needing to know. That moment, that shift in the soul, is where healing begins. When you stop demanding answers and start embracing the unknown, a strange peace finds its way in. It doesn't explain the pain, but it softens it. It doesn't erase the memories, but it gives you space to breathe around them. The more you release control, the more room you make for growth, for clarity, and for grace. Life starts to unfold in ways you didn't expect. The right people begin to show up. Opportunities you never imagined begin to appear. It's almost as if life had been waiting for you to let go, so it could give you something better. The truth is, control is an illusion. We hold on so tightly to things, people, timelines, outcomes, believing that if we just try hard enough, plan perfectly enough, we can bend life to our will. But all that control often does is exhaust us. It disconnects us from the flow of life, from our intuition, from the quiet guidance that only comes when we are still. Surrender doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what isn't yours. It means you trust that even without all the answers, you are still being held, still being guided. There's a quiet power in letting go. You start to realize that the need to understand everything was keeping you stuck. You are replaying the past, overthinking the future, and missing the beauty of now. But when you release that need, you begin to live again. You start to see things with softer eyes. You forgive yourself for what you didn't know back then. You forgive others for the pain they caused, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Healing is not about having it all figured out. It's not about wrapping your trauma in a perfect narrative. It's about accepting that some chapters will never make sense and choosing to move forward anyway. It's about learning to sit with discomfort without letting it define you. It's about finding strength in vulnerability and courage in surrender. You don't need to control the journey to honor it. You don't need to have all the answers to live with intention. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply breathe, let go, and trust that what is meant for you will always find its way, because it will. And when it does, you'll realize that what felt like a breakdown was actually a breakthrough. What felt like an ending was a beginning in disguise. Surrender allows healing to meet you where you are. It invites peace into the chaos. It whispers to your soul that you are safe, even when nothing makes sense. It reminds you that you are not alone, that even in the silence, something sacred is unfolding. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to fix everything. You only have to trust. And in that trust, healing will find you quietly, slowly, and beautifully, one surrendered breath at a time. Your story is not over. What looks like an ending is just a pause in the masterpiece that is your life. Trust the author of your story. There are moments when everything feels like it's slipping away, when dreams crumble, relationships end, health declines, or life takes a turn you never saw coming. In those moments, it's so easy to believe that this is it, that the best parts are behind you, and there's nothing more to look forward to. You feel stuck in a chapter that hurts too much to read and too heavy to close. But just because it feels like an ending doesn't mean the story is over. Just because the page is dark doesn't mean the light won't return. Sometimes life takes away so it can give differently. Sometimes it closes doors so your feet can find the right path. And sometimes the silence you're sitting in isn't the absence of movement. It's a stillness before something begins. Every powerful story has a turning point, a moment where the main character feels lost, hopeless, uncertain. That moment is not the conclusion, it's the transformation. And right now, even if you can't see it, you are standing at the edge of something new. The hardest part about living through pain is believing that it won't last forever. But pain is not a period. It's a karma. It's a breath in the middle of your sentence, a pause to catch your soul before the next line. You don't have to know what's coming next to have faith that there is something next. You don't have to see the whole picture to know that the canvas is still in progress. Yeah, still in progress. Sometimes the most important part of your story is the one that looks like failure, heartbreak, or stillness, because it's in those moments that you're being reshaped, rewritten, and redefined. When you look back one day, you'll see how even the hardest chapters had meaning. You'll understand that what looked like the end was actually where your real strength was born. The detours, the delays, the unexpected heartbreaks, they all serve a purpose. They don't erase your story, they deepen it, they give it weight, they give it truth. A perfect life doesn't move people. But a real one, a messy one, a story where someone fell apart but kept going, that's the one that changes hearts. You don't need to rush to the next chapter. You don't need to flip ahead, desperate to see how it ends. All you need is to trust that the author knows what he's doing. The one who created your soul, who wrote the beginning with such love and intention, hasn't dropped the pen. He hasn't forgotten your name. He hasn't given up on your story, even if you feel like giving up on yourself. Sometimes the pages are quiet because something is growing beneath the surface. Sometimes the most beautiful plot twists take time, and sometimes what feels like loss is actually space being made for something far greater than you imagined. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. The things that left were not meant to carry you into the next part. The people who walked away were not strong enough to climb with you, and the dreams that shattered were too small for the size of your calling. This isn't the end, it's a chapter. A tough one, yes, but not a final one. You are still becoming. You are still rising. And the world hasn't seen the best of you yet. There is laughter ahead that you haven't heard. Here are conversations that will heal you. There are places your feet have not yet touched, and people who will love you in ways that don't hurt. You will find purpose in ways you never imagined. You will experience joy that surprises you, and you will stand one day in awe of how far you've come. You may not see it now, but you are being carried through this moment. You are being gently guided, even in your uncertainty. And every scar, every setback, every sleepless night, they are not wasted. Tigoma, wet. They are being woven into the kind of resilience that cannot be broken. Your story is not small. It is not ordinary. It is filled with depth and destiny. And this chapter, this one that hurts so much, will one day be the part that inspires others not to give up. So if you feel lost, if you feel forgotten, if you feel like your story doesn't matter anymore, hold on, your story is not over. The pen is still moving. The plot is still thickening. The breakthrough is still coming. And the author, he's not done with you yet.